The Secret World of Cats, How They Took Over the Planet and the Human Mind. Part 1. The Origins and Global Rise of Cats. Since the beginning of civilization, one creature has quietly walked beside humanity, not as a servant, not as a beast of burden, but as something far more mysterious. The cat. Sleek, silent, and self-assured, the cat has ruled our homes, our myths, and our hearts. It hunts without command, loves without demand, and somehow, without effort, has conquered nearly every continent on Earth. Welcome to Uncovering Facts, where curiosity meets truth. If you love discovering the hidden stories that shape our world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because today, we're unlocking the greatest mystery of all, how cats took over the planet and the human mind. The wild origins. Our story begins nearly 10,000 years ago in the ancient Fertile Crescent, the cradle of agriculture. Here, humans had just learned to store grain. But stored grain attracted a new problem: rats and mice. And where there are rodents, there are predators. Among them, a small, solitary hunter, Felis sylvestris lybica, the African wildcat. Unlike lions or tigers, this cat was cautious, shy, and opportunistic. It didn't roar or chase in packs. It crept through the night, silent, patient, efficient. Humans noticed. The wildcats that lingered near villages found easy meals, while farmers found a natural pest control. Over generations, a fragile alliance formed, not through force or domestication, but through mutual benefit. The cats that tolerated humans thrived. The humans who tolerated cats preserved their food. And from this ancient truce, the domestic cat was born. From wilderness to worship. By 3500 BC, this partnership had evolved into reverence. No civilization elevated cats quite like the ancient Egyptians. To them, cats were not just animals, they were divine guardians. They represented Bastet, the goddess of protection, fertility, and the home. Temples were built in her honor. Statues depicted her as a woman with a lioness head. Killing a cat, even by accident, was punishable by death. Egyptian families kept cats to guard their homes and to bless them with good fortune. When a cat died, families shaved their eyebrows in mourning, a sign of deep spiritual loss. Cats were mummified and buried with their owners to ensure companionship in the afterlife. From these sacred lands, cats began their silent conquest of the world. The Great Journey. Trade routes carried cats beyond the Nile, first on merchant ships across the Mediterranean, then into Greece, Rome, and Persia. They became guardians of cargo, protectors of ships from rats that chewed through grain and rope. Sailors considered them lucky. A cat on a ship meant a safe journey, a pest-free voyage, and, in a superstitious age, divine protection from the wrath of the sea. It was through these maritime networks that cats reached Europe, India, and later Asia. They adapted easily, hunting local prey, surviving harsh winters, and nesting in human settlements. By the time of the Roman Empire, cats had spread across Europe. Roman soldiers kept them in barracks, and traders brought them to the far edges of the empire, even to the misty isles of Britain. Where humans went, cats followed. And where cats went, peace followed, at least from rodents. The Dark Ages, fear and fire. But not every era was kind to cats. As Europe descended into the Middle Ages, superstition began to replace science. Cats, especially black ones, became symbols of witchcraft. The church, eager to root out evil, linked him to pagan rituals and demonic forces. By the 13th century, cats were being burned, drowned, or hunted in mass purges across Europe. Ironically, this fear had devastating consequences. With fewer cats, the rat population exploded, carrying fleas infected with the plague. Historians believe that the Black Death of the 14th century may have spread faster because cats, humanity's silent protectors, had been destroyed out of ignorance. The very creature that once guarded civilization became its scapegoat. But cats, resilient as ever, survived, hiding in barns, forests, and alleyways, waiting for the world to come to its senses. Rebirth and rediscovery. By the 17th century, the cat's reputation began to heal. Explorers, traders, and colonizers sailing to the New World brought cats with them, again as ship companions and rat hunters. Cats landed in the Americas, Australia, and islands across the Pacific. In Japan, cats became symbols of good luck. The famous Maneki Neko, the beckoning cat, still waves from shop windows today, believed to attract wealth and fortune. In Islamic tradition, cats were treated with respect and affection. Prophet Muhammad was said to have cut off part of his robe rather than disturb his sleeping cat, Muezza. By the 19th century, cats had become household pets across much of the world, admired not for their utility, but for their mystery. Writers like Edgar Allan Poe and Mark Twain wrote about them. Artists painted them. And the first cat shows in London and New York celebrated them as creatures of grace and refinement. The psychology of domestication. But here's the fascinating part. Unlike dogs, cats were never truly domesticated. While dogs were bred for obedience and specific tasks, cats domesticated themselves. They chose to live with humans, but never lost their independence. Their genome is almost identical to that of their wild ancestors. This explains why a house cat can curl on your lap one moment, and stalk a bird the next. It's not defiance. It's ancient instinct, perfectly preserved. Cats walk the fine line between wild and tame. And perhaps that's why we find them so alluring. They remind us that nature can live among us, but never fully belong to us. A planet conquered. Today, cats are everywhere. There are an estimated 600 million domestic cats worldwide, living on every continent except Antarctica. From the deserts of Egypt to the highlands of Peru, from Tokyo apartments to Lagos rooftops, they have adapted to nearly every climate on Earth. They've outnumbered dogs in many major cities. They've become social media icons, spiritual symbols, emotional companions, and even therapy animals. But their conquest was never loud or violent. It was silent, subtle, a revolution not of power, but of presence. Cats didn't conquer the world by force. They conquered it by making us want them around. Part 2. The Science of Cats, Evolution, Intelligence, and Emotion. The story of cats is not only one of history, it's one of biology, psychology, and instinct. Behind every purr, every calculated leap, and every slow blink lies a design honed by millions of years of evolution. In this part, we dive deep into the mind of the cat, to uncover what makes these creatures so intelligent, so mysterious, and so irresistibly captivating. The evolutionary genius. Cats belong to the Felidae family, a lineage that dates back over 10 million years. From this family emerged great predators, lions, tigers, leopards, and cheetahs, but the branch that led to our domestic cats took a different path. They became masters of small prey, not large. They traded brute strength for stealth, speed, and precision. Their evolution sculpted them into near-perfect hunters, silent, adaptable, and self-reliant. Every feature of a cat's body tells the story of a predator built for survival. Eyes with vertically slit pupils, allowing razor-sharp focus day and night. Whiskers that act as radar, detecting the slightest shift in air movement. Retractable claws, always sharp, hidden until the moment of attack. Flexible spines and powerful hind legs, propelling them several times their own height in a single leap. While humans evolved tools, cats became tools of nature, precision engineered for the hunt. Senses beyond ours. To understand cats, you must understand how they perceive the world, a sensory realm far beyond human comprehension. Their hearing is extraordinary. Cats can detect frequencies up to 64,000 Hz, almost twice that of dogs, and more than 3 times that of humans. This means they can hear the ultrasonic squeaks of rodents underground or within walls, a sound we'll never detect. Their vision, too, is specialized for survival. Cats see 6 times better than humans in low light. Their eyes contain a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which bounces light back through the retina, maximizing night vision. That's why cat eyes glow eerily in the dark. It's not magic, it's evolutionary mastery. And then there's smell. Though not as strong as a dog's, it's powerful enough to detect chemical cues, territory markers, and even emotional signals from humans. Yes, cats can smell your mood. They pick up on hormonal changes that accompany stress, fear, or contentment. Their whiskers, or vibrissae, are perhaps their most unique sensory tools. Each whisker is connected to a cluster of nerve endings so sensitive that cats can detect air movement, measure narrow spaces, and even sense objects in total darkness. Imagine living in a world where every movement, every vibration, every whisper of air paints a 3-dimensional picture around you. That is the cat's world. The brain behind the whiskers. It's not just their senses that make cats remarkable, it's their brains. A cat's brain, relative to its body size, is about 90% similar to a human's in structure. They have nearly the same regions responsible for emotion, memory, and decision-making. The folds on their cerebral cortex, the wrinkled outer layer that handles complex thought, are almost identical in number to those of a human brain. This means cats don't just react. They think. They learn. They plan. Studies have shown that cats can solve puzzles, remember solutions, and adapt their behavior to achieve goals. In one experiment, cats learned to open doors by pulling strings, and when the setup changed, they adapted their strategy. This ability to reason, experiment, and adjust is a hallmark of intelligence. But cats express their intelligence differently from dogs. Dogs evolved to cooperate with humans. Their intelligence is social. Cats, on the other hand, evolved to think independently. They solve problems alone because, in the wild, survival depends on self-reliance. This independence is often mistaken for aloofness. But it's not arrogance, it's confidence born from thousands of generations of solitary mastery. The language of cats. To truly understand cats, we must decode their language, a subtle system of gestures, sounds, and behaviors. Cats rarely meow to each other. The meow is almost entirely a human-directed sound, one they developed to communicate with us. It mimics the pitch and rhythm of a baby's cry, triggering our instinct to respond. Every cat owner knows the difference between the short, curious, mew, and the drawn-out, demanding, meow. Some cats even develop personalized vocal patterns for specific humans. But meowing is just one layer of communication. Their body language speaks volumes. A raised tail means friendliness. A puffed tail means fear or aggression. A slow blink means trust, the feline equivalent of a smile. And when a cat shows you its belly, it's not always an invitation, it's a sign of deep vulnerability. Cats also communicate through scent, rubbing their heads or bodies against objects, or against you. This isn't just affection. They're marking you as part of their territory, a member of their inner circle. And when a cat brings you a dead mouse or bird, as disturbing as it may seem, it's a gift. A token of partnership. A reminder that in its mind, you are family. Emotions and empathy. Cats feel more than they show. Research in animal behavior has revealed that cats experience a range of emotions: joy, curiosity, fear, even grief. When a bonded companion, human or feline, dies or disappears, cats often display mourning behaviors, loss of appetite, restlessness, and vocal searching. They can form deep attachments, not just to people but to places, routines, and scents. And though they may not wag tails like dogs, cats are highly responsive to human emotion. Studies show they can distinguish between our facial expressions, knowing when we're happy, angry, or sad. They mirror our moods, offering quiet comfort when we're down and playful energy when we're relaxed. Some cats have even been recorded pressing against their owners' chests during panic attacks, instinctively responding to the rhythm of a racing heartbeat. In this way, cats are silent therapists, emotional barometers wrapped in fur. The science of the purr. Few sounds in nature are as comforting as a cat's purr. But have you ever wondered why they purr? For decades, scientists believed cats purred only when content. But research has revealed something far deeper. Cats purr in a rhythmic pattern between 25 and 150 Hz, a frequency range proven to promote healing in bones and tissues. When cats are injured, frightened, or in pain, they purr, not to express happiness, but to self-soothe and accelerate recovery. In hospitals and therapy programs, the same frequencies used in medical vibration therapy overlap with a cat's purr. It's as if evolution gave them a built-in healing mechanism, one that benefits not just them, but humans too. People who live with cats have been shown to have lower blood pressure, reduced anxiety, and improved heart health. When your cat curls on your lap and begins to purr, it's not just comfort, it's medicine. Social lives of solitary creatures. Cats are often called loners, but in truth, they're flexible. When resources are abundant, food, safety, shelter, cats form loose colonies. In the wild, female cats cooperate to raise kittens, defend shared territories, and even nurse each other's young. These social bonds are built on familiarity and trust, not dominance. Unlike dogs or wolves, cats don't have strict hierarchies. Their society is fluid, based on mutual respect rather than submission. This subtle social intelligence is what allows them to live harmoniously with humans. They observe us, learn our routines, and adapt their behavior accordingly. They know when we wake, when we eat, when we're about to grab the car keys, and somehow, they always seem one step ahead. That quiet presence, sitting near but not intruding, watching but not judging, is the essence of the feline bond. Cats and the human brain. It's no coincidence that cats fascinate us so deeply. Neuroscientists suggest that our bond with cats taps into ancient neurological pathways, the same ones that govern parental care and emotional attachment. When we look into a cat's eyes, our brains release oxytocin, the love hormone. It's the same chemical triggered between mothers and infants. Cats, in turn, have learned to exploit this connection. Their meows, purrs, and gaze patterns are finely tuned to stimulate our empathy. In other words, they've evolved to train us. This is perhaps the most astonishing part of their story. Cats didn't just adapt to our world, they adapted us to theirs. The feline mind. Recent studies using MRI and cognitive testing have revealed fascinating details about cat intelligence. They can remember events for up to 10 years, recognize their owners' voices, and even distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar human faces. They understand cause and effect, knowing that a falling object will make noise or attract attention. They can manipulate situations to get what they want, such as faking hunger to earn more food, or tapping a human's arm to trigger a response. In experiments, cats have demonstrated what scientists call object permanence, the understanding that something still exists even when it's out of sight. This is a trait shared with apes and dolphins, both known for advanced cognition. And while their problem-solving is deliberate and slow, their memory is remarkably long. Cats remember kindness. They also remember cruelty. Their trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, a sign of deep emotional intelligence. Spiritual companions across cultures. Throughout history, cats have been associated with mystery, intuition, and the unseen. In ancient Egypt, they symbolized divine protection. In Norse mythology, the goddess Freya rode a chariot pulled by giant cats. In Japan, cats are thought to bring fortune. In Celtic lore, they were guardians of the otherworld. Even today, many cultures see cats as spiritual sentinels, creatures that move between worlds. Science may describe them as mammals with heightened senses, but humans have always felt something more, that cats are aware of things we cannot see. Perhaps that's why so many myths persist. Cats stare into corners where nothing seems to move. They react to sounds we cannot hear. Their stillness feels meditative, their gaze almost cosmic. Maybe, just maybe, they sense the rhythm of the universe in ways we've forgotten. A masterpiece of evolution. When you watch a cat leap, land silently, or twist midair, you're witnessing perfection. The cat's righting reflex allows it to reorient its body in freefall, landing on its feet with minimal injury. Its fur insulates against heat and cold. Its kidneys conserve water so efficiently that cats can survive on minimal drinking. They're evolutionary masterpieces, engineered for agility, endurance, and survival. And yet, despite their strength, they've chosen coexistence. They could have remained wild hunters, but instead, they curl beside us, trusting creatures of flesh and fur in a world of machines and noise. Cats remind us that intelligence doesn't always roar or obey. Sometimes, it simply watches, waits, and understands. Part 3. Cats in the modern and digital world. Cats have survived ice ages, crossed oceans, and endured centuries of human misunderstanding. But their greatest conquest wasn't a continent or a civilization. It was the modern world, the technological age, and the human heart. The modern household monarch. Today, cats reign supreme as the world's most popular pet. Over 600 million domestic cats share the planet with us, with about 95 million in the United States alone. They live in skyscrapers, farmhouses, studios, and palaces. They've learned to nap through our chaos, claim our chairs, and demand our attention, on their terms. Yet, even surrounded by humans, they remain a paradox, part companion, part mystery. Their independence, once seen as cold, is now their charm. They don't beg for affection, they earn it. They don't bark or plead. They simply exist, quietly influencing every home they enter. And perhaps that's why we've grown to love them even more in the modern era. In a world overwhelmed by noise, cats remind us of silence. The psychology of attachment. For many, cats are more than pets, they're emotional companions. Researchers have found that cats form secure attachments to their owners, much like children to parents. In laboratory studies, cats showed visible signs of distress when separated from their humans, but relaxed once reunited. Their affection is subtle but sincere, the brush against your leg, the slow blink, the decision to sleep beside you. These gestures may seem small, but they're signs of deep trust. Cats bond not through obedience, but through recognition. They know who you are, your voice, your scent, and your presence. And in their own quiet way, they choose you back every day. How cats changed science. Cats have long fascinated scientists, especially neurologists and geneticists. In the mid-20th century, cats helped scientists map the visual cortex, leading to breakthroughs in how we understand human vision. Their whisker sensors inspired modern robotic navigation systems, mimicking how cats detect obstacles in darkness. And in genetics, sequencing the feline genome revealed how cats resist diseases like HIV-like viruses, paving the way for potential human treatments. Every purr, leap, and twitch hides lessons in biology, physics, and psychology. The cat, in its quiet elegance, has become both subject and teacher, a bridge between nature and science. The urban hunter. Even in cities, cats remain hunters. In places like New York, Lagos, and Tokyo, thousands of semi-feral cats roam the streets, controlling rodent populations. But this hunting instinct has also raised ecological debates. In Australia, feral cats threaten native species, leading to controversial control measures. In other regions, community programs have embraced trap-neuter-return (TNR) strategies, balancing compassion with conservation. This paradox, the beloved pet and the efficient predator, reminds us that cats have never truly left the wild. They merely learned to live beside us. The digital takeover. Then came the internet, and cats found their final kingdom. The 2000s gave birth to the age of the viral cat. From keyboard cat and grumpy cat to modern TikTok stars with millions of followers, cats became the mascots of the digital age. Why cats? Psychologists say it's because their behavior mirrors our emotions, curious, unpredictable, yet relatable. Their expressions are subtle but powerful, their clumsiness endearing, their confidence mesmerizing. A dog looks to you for direction. A cat looks through you, and somehow, we can't look away. On platforms like YouTube and Instagram, cat videos became a universal language, soothing, funny, and oddly therapeutic. In times of stress, millions turn to a simple clip of a cat doing something absurdly adorable. It's escapism and empathy, wrapped in fur. Cats and mental health. Beyond entertainment, cats play a profound role in emotional healing. Studies show that cat owners are less likely to suffer from loneliness and depression. The rhythmic act of petting a cat lowers heart rate and releases serotonin and dopamine, the brain's happiness chemicals. During the pandemic, adoption rates for cats surged globally. People confined indoors found comfort in the companionship of these quiet, independent animals. Unlike dogs, cats didn't need constant walks or attention. They simply existed beside their humans, steady and serene. In a chaotic world, cats offered something rare, presence without demand. Cultural icons and myths reimagined. Cats have reclaimed their throne in culture and art. Films like The Aristocats, Puss in Boots, and Katie celebrate their wit and wonder. Museums host exhibitions on feline symbolism, from Egyptian sculptures to Japanese maneki neko figurines. In literature, cats remain the symbol of mystery and independence, from Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat to Haruki Murakami's novels where cats often appear as messengers between worlds. Even science fiction embraces them. In futuristic tales, cats survive human extinction, as if to say, when humanity fades, cats will carry the memory of us. How cats see us. One of the most intriguing scientific questions is, what do cats think of humans? Researchers suggest that cats see us not as owners, but as large, clumsy cats. They groom us, rub against us, and bring us gifts, behaviors they normally reserve for their kind. They've simply extended their species' social instincts to include us. When a cat sleeps on your chest, it's not dominance, it's trust. When it needs your lap, it's a comforting motion from kittenhood, a memory of warmth and safety. To them, we are not masters, we are family. The eternal observer. Have you ever noticed how cats seem to watch us? From the windowsill, from the hallway, from a distance, quietly observing. Scientists call this vigilance behavior, but it feels almost philosophical. Cats notice everything, every tone, every habit, every change in energy. It's why they often sense earthquakes before we do, or appear at our side moments before we cry. They are living mirrors, reflecting our moods, amplifying our calm, reminding us to pause. In a sense, cats are the ultimate mindfulness coaches. They live entirely in the present. When they rest, they truly rest. When they hunt, they focus wholly. They do not multitask, regret, or plan, they simply are. A bond beyond logic. Our relationship with cats defies logic. We feed them, shelter them, and adore them, yet they owe us nothing. They walk away when they wish, and return when they choose. And still, we forgive them every time. Why? Because somewhere deep down, we recognize ourselves in him, independent, emotional, searching for comfort in a restless world. Cats remind us that love doesn't always need words, obedience, or rules. Sometimes, it's just two beings sharing a quiet moment, a look, a purr, a heartbeat. The future of cats. As technology advances, so does our understanding of these creatures. AI-driven behavior trackers now analyze cat moods through facial expressions. DNA testing reveals lineage and health predispositions. Smart collars translate meows into digital patterns for better communication. But despite all this innovation, cats remain what they've always been, ancient souls walking through a modern world. Even as we try to decode them, they keep their secrets. And maybe that's the point. That mystery is part of their magic. The final mystery. Every civilization that's ever known cats has found itself enchanted. From Egyptian temples to internet memes, cats have woven themselves into every chapter of our story. They've outlasted empires, adapted to every landscape, and survived every human folly. They've sat beside kings and beggars alike, asking for nothing, giving only their presence. In him, we see nature's quiet resilience, the ability to thrive, to adapt, and to love without losing the self. So the next time your cat curls up beside you, remember this: you are sharing your space with a creature shaped by eternity, a hunter, a healer, a mystery. And whether we realize it or not, they have already conquered us, not with power, but with peace. Conclusion: the human heart, claimed by cats. From the sands of ancient Egypt to the glowing screens of TikTok, cats have walked silently through human history, unchanged, unstoppable, and unforgettable. They have taken over our homes, our minds, and our hearts, not through domination, but through grace. They ask for nothing but give us serenity. They speak no words but teach us connection. And that, perhaps, is their greatest power of all. Thank you for watching Uncovering Facts, where curiosity meets truth. If you enjoyed this journey into the secret world of cats, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that reveal the wonders hidden in plain sight. Until next time, stay curious, and stay kind to the mysteries that purr beside you.